I usually cook lunch and supper before I go to work. My husband comes home for lunch, and the last thing I want to do when I get home after 6 is start cooking supper. So this morning, I'd taken them out of the freezer yesterday, and it was a little bag of tuna, fresh tuna. It had 4 in there, and they were very small. And it made me reevaluate my small. And yes, it was smaller than probably about half of the size of the palm of my hand, one piece. Now my husband is 6'4", so his small is going to be a lot bigger than my small. And it really made me reevaluate my small. And so what is sufficient? And you know, it made me think that you have to have a attitude of gratitude. I get to eat this much. Yes, the tuna is kind of thick. Yeah, maybe an inch, I would say. But it is very small. Now, if our stomach is the size of our palm of our hand, actually that half is a lot of protein. But when I took those little portions of tuna out, I was a little surprised at how small was. It was a reality check, and I began to think, you know what? You have to be thankful. I know when I was a missionary in Mexico, and I would come back across when we would do weekend trips before I lived there, we'd pass the bridge into the United States, and it was maybe a weekend trip, sometimes it was a 10-day trip further down into Mexico, and the portions are smaller. And I did lose weight once I moved into Mexico because the portions were smaller. I would always, along with many other missionaries in the van, would say, I'm so hungry, let's get something to eat. And we would sometimes stop at the first restaurant across the border. But the point is, you get used to small portions. Today I had a reality check of what was really small. And it kind of woke me up. You know, I know that there are so many people who do not have access to food, and we need to be grateful for what we have. And once you get used to the smaller portions, like now, I am used to smaller portions. It's like I get to eat all of that. Now, you know, yes, an inch thick is an inch thick, and that's kind of thick. But I was kind of surprised to see what was in the back of 4 pieces of fresh tuna for me to cook this morning. So surprise, honey, you're eating small today too, whether you like it or not. He'll probably make something else for him. But we need to be thankful for the volume that we get. I mean, you look back at the portion sizes of 1950, 1960, 1970, 1980 versus today, and there's a huge difference. We need to refocus and be grateful and thankful for the portions that we get today. And do they really have to be that big? Something to think about. Be blessed.